In this video, we're going to explore something I call the power of your word or the power of your voice. And this is a really important topic to understand because it addresses the challenge of what to do when you don't feel received by the people around you. Do you say something? Do you say nothing? What's the most empowered choice for you to make? I hope you enjoy watching this video. One of the questions I get in the work that I do with people is, what do I do when the other person can't or won't acknowledge my pain or my needs? So, like, hey, I would really like to go out for dinner tonight. Well, I don't want to go. Well, it's important for me. Well, I don't want to go. There's no reciprocation. There's no acknowledgement. So what do you do in a situation like that? To me, the importance for you in that circumstance is to take care of your health. And to me, that is to honor within yourself. If the person says, well, I don't want to go for dinner, and you say, okay, and you shut down, you're not honoring that you want to go for dinner and that, well, this person's not acknowledging it, so I want to shut down. Okay. Or I'm going for dinner, and if you don't go for dinner with me, I'm leaving you. That would be a demand. It's the opposite. One is like a withdrawal or resignation. The next is a demand. Neither of those is satisfying. What do you do? For me, what I use is what I call the power of voice. And voice is about expressing yourself, not as a transaction, I'm going to express myself so that you'll do the thing that I want in return, but as an offering. I'm going to express myself because it is what is true for me. I feel really sad that I don't feel your care about whether or not I want to go for dinner, and I really wish that you were able to do so. It's just simply expressing your words. And this is so vital because when you hold in the words that you could freely express, two things happen. One, you hold it in within yourself. That often will show up as teeth problems, breath problems, canker sores. Anytime you're holding something in, that takes energy, and that investment of energy to hold it in is going to come at the cost of your physicality somehow. The other cost is that person doesn't have to negotiate the real and alive you. I don't want to go. Okay, fine. If they're showing up in a way that's not compassionate, caring, connected, as an expression of their suffering, and you don't show up as yourself, there's nothing holding them accountable to acknowledge that's where they are. And so power of word is helpful where you say, I really wish that we could go, and I feel sad because I don't feel your care. You're not letting the person off the hook, but you're also not accusing them or demanding something from them. You're simply acknowledging. And that's powerful for two reasons. One, it's powerful because you're not holding it in for yourself. You're letting it flow out. You're acknowledging what you need. And two, you're letting the other person hear what is true for you. Now, whether or not they're able to do something with that is outside of your control, but your responsibility is towards your health, and expressing those words is an important part of your health. Now, if it causes violence in return, you say that to the person and they demean you or scold you and it's painful, okay, that's a little different. It may not be worth it. But at the same time, the thing that you have control over is using the power of your voice. I want to give an example of a time this happened to me in my life. I used to be a school teacher, and one day when I was leaving school, there was a teenage boy and teenage girl in the laneway beside the school where the teenage boy was yelling at the person, really being violent towards the woman. And I was walking by, and I've never been in a fight in my life. I've never punched somebody except for fun, like not out of rage. I don't know how to do that. And so as I was walking by this couple fighting, I asked myself, can I go home? Can I walk by this and go home and feel good about myself? And when I asked myself the question honestly, I said, no, I can't do this. And so I walked straight up to the couple. I walked up to the guy and I said, hey, what you're doing is not okay and you need to stop. And right away, the guy's like, who the f are you? Do you want to go? And I said, no, but what you're doing is not okay. You need to stop. He's like, do you want to go, man? Mind your own business, this and that. And I said, I don't want to get involved, but what you're doing is not okay and you need to stop. Now, what's really interesting is what happened moments later was another teacher from my school who was a very large man came up and they played big dog. You want to go? You want to go? And of course, the little dog, the teenager, backed down and walked away. But what I experienced in my you need to stop, what you're doing is not okay and you need to stop. It was even simple, like don't swear at your girlfriend or I was just like, what you're doing is not okay and you need to stop. Is I felt him energetically back down. He was already diminishing in his energy rather than coming at me. Now, I don't advise this in all circumstances. It may not be safe to do that. But in that situation, I asked myself and I felt guided that it was okay to do that. And I felt the power of my words. He, no question, could have kicked my ass. And if he wanted to, he would. But my words penetrated because they were true, they were accurate, and I had the courage to say them. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do, especially when this is happening, is to use the power of your words. The important thing is to identify within yourself, am I saying it because I want you to do it or else, or am I saying it because it's what's true for me? And that's what I said before, the difference between a transaction, I'm going to say this so that you change, and an offering. I'm going to say this because it's what's true for me. And then you give that person the opportunity to decide for themselves. And so in your healing journey, when you're not feeling received for what's going on for yourself, for what's true for you, notice, are you not expressing? Are you demanding? Or are you using power of word? Thanks for watching this video. I'd love to hear about your experience with the power of your word. Do you have experiences where you've held back your word and experienced suffering as a result? Or use your word where there was no expectation of whether or not you're going to be received and felt more empowered as a result? I'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, comments below, and I look forward to talking to you next.